Hello from Praxis Recruitment. I'm Christina Stewart, and today I want to talk to job seekers. I want to talk to job seekers about questions to ask in an interview. I actually stumbled across an article from Forbes just this morning, and it's called 14 Questions Job Seekers Shouldn't Ask During Interviews. And I thought, oh, okay, well, this will be really interesting. Wow, I couldn't believe it. I was shocked at the questions that Forbes is saying candidates should not ask during a job interview. I gotta be honest, some I'm actually in agreement with, but for the most part, I couldn't disagree more. I'm not gonna go through all of the questions, but there's a few that I wanna just discuss with you today. First of all, it says, don't ask, how much does this position pay? That is outrageous to me. I think that if it's not clear in a job posting what the compensation is and the employer has not addressed that with you yet, that's definitely a question that you should be asking. I think it's really important at the outset of building a relationship with an employer, with a job seeker and a candidate and an employer, that a ballpark kind of figure come about between what a candidate is looking for and what the employer can actually pay. So that way, nobody's wasting anybody's time. This is a capitalist society that we live in, and job seekers, you need to be paid for the value that you provide to an organization. So asking how much the compensation is, I think, is completely appropriate if that hasn't been shared already. Certainly not something you want to come out of the gate with, but at the end of an interview, if it's unclear, please go ahead and ask. In fact, you should be asking to make sure that there's going to be a fair exchange there, okay? Number two, the question is, are there opportunities to advance? So Forbes is saying you're not supposed to ask if there are opportunities to advance. Wow, I could not disagree more with this one. Yes, obviously, if I'm interviewing someone, I'm looking for someone to do such and such for right now. But I do not want to hire someone who is lacking motivation or ambition, somebody who says, I want to be in this job for the next 25 years and I don't want to do anything else with my life. That's not who I'm looking for. And so I think demonstrating that you have other interests, that you want to be a director one day, you want to be a CEO one day, is completely appropriate. And so, yeah, I'm not going to, for myself, I'm not going to sign on to an organization if there isn't necessarily room to grow or advance, right? And advancement can come in many different forms. That can be job enrichment. It can be adding more responsibilities to a current job. It can be adding direct reports to a current job, that sort of thing. So opportunities for advancement, if that's of interest to you, please, you go right ahead and you ask that question. To me, that shows somebody who's ambitious and motivated and thinking long-term about wanting to stay with the organization, okay? All right, and so I said I'm not gonna go through all of them, but then there's two other ones that I wanted to touch on. Number 7, do you offer flexible hours? Not supposed to ask about that. And number 8, is your company family friendly? So, I couldn't disagree more, as I said. These are the questions that you need to be asking. As a job seeker who is fitting employment into your life, it has to fit into your life, your whole life. And so asking questions around the hours, or whether it's remote or hybrid or work from home, or am I going to be able to pick up my kids from daycare? Am I going to be allowed to go see a recital or take a kid to a dentist? I need to know these things. Most of us out there are working parents, right? We've got responsibilities. And so finding out if an employer is going to be stringent and strict and kind of rigorous around schedule, or finding out if somebody is a little more flexible, or what the hours look like, or what the expectation is really important in you making your decision. So if that information has not come up around advancement, compensation, flexible hours, or if it's family friendly, I absolutely urge you to ask those kinds of questions in an interview. Certainly, it's important that you ask questions. I think it's important that you ask questions that are thoughtful, that show that you're interested, show that you've done your research on the organization. And I think coming with some of those in mind is really important. I'm going to tell you right now, don't not ask something just because you think it might not be right. Ask those questions. If you're curious or you feel you want to know or it hasn't been answered yet, and it's important for you to be able to make your decision, obviously you're going to ask it respectfully, but please go ahead and ask. Ask away. I love it. I love lots of questions at the end of interviews. I think it's really important to have that kind of dialogue. So anyhow, those are my thoughts. You can check out the full article in the link below the video, just in case you wanted to take a look for yourself. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.